What's up, my brave sisters? How y'all doing on this beautiful Wednesday? Whether it is sunny where you are, raining where you are, hopefully it is not snowing where you are. It's a beautiful Wednesday because you are a part of it. So happy Wednesday to you. Super glad that you are joining me online today. Listen, I always say we start our day with God, we end our day with God. And I'm super blessed to be able to end my day with you guys today. So as you guys are jumping in, don't forget to share and tag, and then also like and subscribe, right? We're on both Facebook and YouTube. So whatever your guilty pleasure is for watching or listening to videos or podcasts, jump on and let me know that you guys are watching. What's up, Angie? I see you. Hey, Cammie. I get to see Cammie in person this Sunday. Pastor Bobby Biber will be in the house at Relevant Church in Niles, and we're super excited about that. He is our online campus pastor, and he can preach the house down. So I'm excited about that. What's up, y'all? Listen, today, it's been beautiful outside, summer break. I've had a lot of things going on this past week. I will share it with you as soon as I get some more ladies jumping on. As I said before, don't forget to share and tag, like and subscribe. And so we can get the word out. We're talking about excuses today. We're talking about excuses. So if you saw the post online, if you saw the event page that was shared on Facebook, you know exactly what we are talking about. What's up, Farah? What's up, Kristen? What's up, Cammie? Oh, I said Cammie already, so I'm just reading name. What's up, Tammy? As the numbers are jumping on, let me tell you guys, for me, it is officially summer break. Girls, it is officially summer break for me. I'm gonna actually fix my mic because it's drooping a little bit, but it's summer break for me. My kids are gone. Y'all don't know about that. I'm an empty nester, y'all. Me and my husband gonna act up the next 30 days. I am an empty nester. My kids are in Toronto, Canada with their grandparents, and I'm about to act up. So my mother hat, I lifted it up. I took it off for a little bit. People are like, oh, don't you miss your children? Like, no, I don't right now. Okay, that's truth. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you do it. I do it because I need to. I need a break. I need to breathe. All those mamas out there, if you're a mama and you're like, sometimes I need to breathe, can you please send an emoji of just send me some love, because don't tell me I'm alone. You can't tell me that I'm alone on this, where it's like, get the kids out the house. I just need some me time. I need to be in my house by myself. I need to do the kitchen by myself. I need to be doing laundry and singing at the top of my lungs by myself, without a child saying, mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, where's this? Mommy, where's that? Listen, it is summer break time for me. Naj says, send them kids out the door. Come on, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back. Well, they could come back. They could come back. Because closer to the end of their vacation, I start missing them. But at the beginning, don't ask me if I miss my kids. I'll straight up in your face tell you absolutely not. I don't. But with my kids being gone, what's up? What's up, Nicole? How you doing, girlfriend? She said, you are not alone. Come on, that's real. Yes, it is. I know with my kids around, I always have alarms. I think I have 8 alarms on my phone. Right now, they're all off. But I had an alarm to wake up for school. I had an alarm to what's it called? To get in the car. Then I had an alarm to remember to pick them up from school, and they were at different schools. So I had more than one alarm for that. Then I had an alarm for making sure that they took out the trash, and I had an alarm for this, and when to wake up and when to get ready for bed. I had so many alarms on my phone. Too many alarms. Y'all, am I the only one like this? Am I the alarm freak? Do you guys usually have alarms like that? Like, you have to have more than one alarm like crazy? Because that's me. That's me. But you know what I'm missing, y'all? Y'all didn't even tell me. Sisters, you were out there. You're supposed to help me out before I get into the word, before I get into the message. We're supposed to sing our song, and I totally forgot. So we start our day with God, we end our day with God. And whether I'm in your kitchen, your laundry room, I'm in your car, I'm in your bedroom, I'm sitting on the edge of your bed. I don't care what you're doing. You could be laying down, you could be reading a book, but I'm sitting in your bedroom. Wherever you are in the house, I want you to sing along with me. Happy Wednesday to ya. Happy Wednesday to ya. Happy Wednesday. I totally forgot to sing my song, and none of you all reminded me to sing. What's up, Michelle? Michelle, you should have reminded me that I forgot to sing the song. Michelle says, I have to set an alarm because I forget stuff all the time. That's true. That is all of us. I forget stuff all the time as well. Michelle, you're not alone. But the problem with my alarm, let me tell you, do you guys use the alarm on your phone or your iPad? And how close is it to your bedside? Tell me, give me some information, because my phone is right beside my bed, and that's what I use for my alarm clock. That's what I need to wake me up. I don't use anything else for the past few years. I would say for the past maybe 10 plus years, I've used my cell phone to wake me up as my alarm clock. But I want to ask a question to my brave sisters out there. Those of you that have or use an alarm clock, because I see Angie says she uses her phone and it's right beside her bed. Cami said her phone right beside her, right? When I use my phone beside my bed, Kara said phone next to my bed. So we all have our phone right, but that's so bad, y'all. That's not healthy, because then we end up scrolling. But that's not even where I'm going on this. Who has a snooze setting on their alarm? That's where I want to go with it. Who has a snooze setting? Because did you know that you had the option to remove that snooze, so that when your alarm goes off, you can actually press stop and it will stop, and that's it. That's just one and done. Who puts the snooze button on? Who has the snooze? Cami says I do. Angie said, for real though. Definitely snoozing at least a couple of times. Angie. This is where I'm going with this. This is where I'm going with it, ladies. Listen up. For those of us, and I say us because I have the snooze button. Michelle said I be snoozing all the time. For those of us who have that snooze button, we are literally training our brain to have an excuse not to wake up when we allotted it to. We are literally, sisters, training our brain to come up with an excuse to not wake up at the time we said we will wake up. So if I set my intentions and say, I am going to wake up at 8:00 because I need to do such and such or whatever, I need to exercise, I need to whatever. By having that snooze option, it's given our mind an excuse not to hold ourselves in our commitment. And we create a habit, and we never think of it like that, right? We never think of it like that. We create a habit of learning how to come up with excuses and push things off. So if we say we're going to wake up at 7:00, but we have that snooze button, we know that we don't really have to wake up until 7:08, 7:16. I don't know. My snooze, I think, is like 8 minutes or something like that. Some of them change or vary, but it's given my mind, it's given my body the excuse that I can actually sleep in longer. But what are some excuses, sisters? I'm going to ask you about this because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about excuses. What are some excuses that we don't realize? What are some excuses that we don't realize, like that snooze? That snooze button is an excuse not to do what I said I was going to do. So if you guys have, I'm going to share some here, but if you guys have some excuses that you're like, oh my goodness, that is an excuse, put it down because I want to read it. Hey, Stace. What's up, Laura? I see people jumping on. But think about it. The word try. That word try is a defeated word already. It's already an excuse. If somebody says, hey, can you make me a plate? and bring it by or later or whatever the case may be. I'm just making up something. But if somebody asks me to do something and I say, I will try, that is already an excuse. So if I don't do that thing or if I don't complete it, I could say I tried, knowing that my intention was never to do it in the first place, right? So that word try, we need to refrain from do it, or we could say, hey, I'm committed to doing that, meaning that no matter what time. So you guys know that I'm doing the 75-day hard. It's a challenge. I've shared it with you guys. It's a crazy challenge, whatever. I have to exercise twice a day. One has to be outside. I have to drink a gallon of water. I have to read 10 pages, 10 pages a day of a nonfiction book. And it has to be an actual physical book. And then you have to commit to a diet. You have to take a picture of yourself every single day. So I'm doing this challenge. And with that challenge, if I don't commit to it, right, then I'm going to fail it. If I say I'm going to do something before 2 a.m., because that's my cutoff time for a day, before 2 a.m., you will find me taking walks at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. Why? Because I'm not going to come up with an excuse. I committed to something, so I'm going to fulfill it and do it, right? So that word try, or I'll try to do it, is already an excuse. How many times, ladies, let me know, put a hand up, put an emoji, a facial expression of if you've ever used that word, yeah, I'll try, knowing that you weren't going to do it. What did Carly say? Carly said, I didn't have time. Ooh, I was looking on my page to see if I wrote that one down, because that one's a good one. I didn't have time, but I made time for other things, right? Right, Carly? So many times we tell people, oh, I don't have time. That's an excuse. Because you will make time, or you use that time, because everybody has 24 hours in a day, right? So it's not about making time, but creating that space to do whatever you said you were going to do on your job, at school, in your home. Like, are you committed, or are you coming up with constant excuses, right? Diane said, I'll do it tomorrow. Woo, I have that one. Procrastination, putting off till tomorrow. Come on, Diane. That was right on my list. Like, that's an excuse. Putting off tomorrow what you can actually do today. Like me, for instance, my dishes, because my children are in Canada, those were my dishwashers, y'all. Not to say I don't have a machine like a dishwasher. I have that. I just don't want to be the one to use it, okay? So my dishwasher is in Canada, which is my eldest son. And last night I was super exhausted after being committed to taking my walk after 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night. And I didn't want to do the dishes. So I put it off to today, and the dishes are still there. But that's neither here nor there. But I made an excuse when I could have done them last night, but I chose not to. So I came up with an excuse with putting it off tomorrow. What's another one? I see Farah said, I'll think about it and think myself out of it. Wow. Or Farah, don't we say sometimes I'll think about it and never even think about it at all? Really, it's not even in a thought. Like, I'll say it, I'll think about it, but it's never actually in our mind to think about it. Or the term life is busy. Oh, but my life is busy. That word busy, I hate it sometimes, because busy doing what? You could say your life is full, but even when you say your life is full, because sometimes, like, oh, my plate's full, I'm talking about myself. So just hear me out. If I say my plate's full, believe you me, if you say there's a fried chicken or there's a lemon pepper chicken that Jonathan made, I'm going to find place on my plate to fit it. So whether my life is full, whether my plate is full, I'm going to make sure that I find room to fit it. But that whole busy, oh, I'm busy, that's an excuse. If it's a priority, you're going to make sure it's going to get done, right? I wrote down snooze button, but we already talked about that. Another one that Christians use a lot, sisters. I'll pray about it. That's an excuse. If you don't want to do it, just say no. Because some people, you ain't praying about nothing. You're not really praying about it. You don't go home and say, God, like, somebody asked me to do something and I'm not sure if this is your will. I'm not sure if it aligns with what you want me to do, blah, blah, blah. You're not going home and praying about it. Your I'll pray about it is an excuse to really want to say no. But at the moment, you don't have the balls to say no. Well, hopefully y'all don't have balls. You guys are females. So, but I know men are watching too. So whatever. Tammy says, I had not thought of it that way. But yes, if I say I will try, I'm really saying no. Yeah, it's true. A lot of times when I say I will try, I really don't want to do it, or I don't want it to give it the effort. So I half-ass it and I don't really give it my all because I already used the term I'll try, right? So moving on, I wanted to share with you guys something. My husband really, really likes rocket ships. He likes planes. He loves just understanding the way it takes off, how this humongous machine is just floating in space or just in the sky. Like, he marvels at experiencing and watching planes take off, planes land, or better yet, the spaceships. When they actually watch, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, when you get to watch it and you hear them getting ready and they're doing the countdown and everything like that, he enjoys that. That's fun to him, right? And I'm thinking about rocket ships. Rocket ships, after they start counting down from 10, usually there's no turning back. There's no, hey, let's stop. I need to go potty. Hey, can we take a break? I didn't get a sandwich. There's usually no turning back from that, right? And I'm going somewhere with this. Where was I going with it? It's once it hits that 5 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it takes off. It's gone. It does what it's supposed to do. And I was reading this book called The 5-Second Rule. And literally they were saying that if you give yourself, this is a tool for us. If you give yourself 5 seconds to do something, your mind won't come up with the excuses, sisters. Your mind doesn't have enough time, enough bandwidth for it to come up with things in your head to talk you out of what you were supposed to do. So say, for instance, in the morning when you have that alarm clock on, right? And once it goes off and you hit that stop, not the snooze, when you hit that stop button and you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get up and do whatever it is that you need to do. Get up and brush your teeth, get up and make your bed, get up and get your coffee going. Why? Because in that book, it stated that if you take longer than 5 seconds to pick up, your mind's going to start coming up with excuses why you shouldn't get up. Oh, Christine, you're tired. You didn't really sleep well last night. So just lay down still in bed. Oh, you could do your devotional in bed knowing that I'm going to fall right back asleep. And it prevents you from doing exactly what you're supposed to do. So whatever you're supposed to do, think about the 5 second. Just count it in your head. 5, 4, 3, 2. That's why you count down and not up. Because if I said, okay, if I count to 5 and I'll go do something, then in your head you could say, no, just move it to 10. No, just move it to 20. No, just move it. But when you counting down to 0, there ain't nobody counting negatives, right? Nobody goes that way. So I want you to share with me, sisters. Share a time when you were tempted to make an excuse but chose not to. I want you to do that for me. Some of you may have time to do it. Some of you may not. Share a time when you were tempted to make up an excuse, but you chose not to. What was the outcome? What was the outcome? You could have made up an excuse, but you chose not to. How did you feel? What was the outcome? What took place? I want to read some of it. Let me know, because I could tell you just recently this happened to me. We were having a meeting, right? And during our meeting time, an alarm popped up. I think somebody texted me something, and in the meeting, it distracted me. And it caused me to text somebody else in the meeting, which distracted them from being a part of the meeting. Um, and at the end of the meeting, after we were talking, we realized, or my husband realized, that somebody was distracted in the meeting. And it was really my fault because I was the one who texted them and caused them to be distracted and start looking into other things and whatever, whatnot. And I could have easily said, oh, that was important. I needed it done right away. But I apologized and I said, you know what? That was my fault. I could have came up with so many good excuses, but the way I overcame it, I took ownership. I messed up. I should have thought through before sending the message that will throw other people off during a meeting that had nothing to do with what I text, but it caused the person's mind and direction to go elsewhere. And I had to own it. I had to own it and leave the BS behind, leave the excuses behind, and just own up. I distracted the meeting. I made it go wayward. I confused the person that was there, right? And I had to own up to it. Listen, I want to share a quote that I found from Pope John Paul II. Come on, Pope John Paul. And this, I want you guys to lean into this. Hold on. I want to read somebody. Laura said something. Meal prepping last week, but I am so glad I chose to, because none of my fruit went bad because I cut it up and put it into a container to stay fresh. Awesome. Her outcome was amazing. Why? Because she chose not to have an excuse. She chose not to, right? Laura, hopefully I'm saying what you were thinking is like, I chose not to have an excuse and say, oh, this is too much. This is too stressful. I'm tired. I don't want to do it. I don't feel like doing it. And by her doing it, she saved money because she didn't have to go out and buy more fruit because her fruit spoiled, right? What else is there? Cammie said something too. Cammie said, going out with friends and I make up a dumb excuse and then I miss going out with friends. Sorry, I'm reading it incorrectly. Going out with friends and I make up a dumb excuse and then I miss out of catching up with them. That's that FOMO. I do that all the time, Cammie, and my husband gets mad at me, where people will want to go out and say, hey, Pastor Christine, come on out, da da da. And I'm like, no, I'm tired, da 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 da, whatever, whatnot. And when they go out, I miss out. I miss out on the fun. I miss out on the enjoyment. And a lot of the times when I ignore my excuse of just I'm tired or whatever, and I go out with them, I have the best time in my life. I have a blast. I'm going to read one more and then I'm going to go on to this quote because this quote had me pausing. Angie said there was a time at my job when I could have made an excuse on why she probably couldn't attend a team meeting, but I chose not to and found out during the meeting that I was receiving a raise. Come on. I think that was the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit said, Angie, you ain't coming up with an excuse. This one you need to be in. So that was awesome. The outcome was a beautiful outcome. She got a raise, right? So listen to this quote from my good old friend, Pope John Paul II. An excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie. For an excuse is a lie guarded. I'm going to read that one more time for you guys. And I'm just going to let it sit there. An excuse is worse and more terrible than a lie. For an excuse is a lie guarded. Pope John Paul II dropped the mic on that. He dropped the mic because are your excuses just lies in disguise, sisters? Are we just lying? We're lying to ourselves. We're lying to our families. We're lying to our friends. We're lying to the doctor sometimes, a lot of times. Oh, have you had this symptom? And you're like, oh no, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm feeling fine. Lies. Your excuses are sometimes just lies in disguise. I'm thinking of the excuse like some of you guys shared, headaches. No headache. But that's the excuse that we so easily use or go to. It's a lie. It's not an excuse, it's a lie. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm tired. I'm not showing up in the way I'm supposed to. I'm showing up with an attitude and a mood because I'm tired. That's a lie. I've been tired. I've been sleepy. And I know you guys have done that too, where you're tired, you're exhausted, you're sleepy, and you still show up in a positive light. You still show up with joy. And you let the people know around you, I'm exhausted. I'm super tired, but I'm going to be here and I'm going to show up and show out. Right? I also heard that when we say we're tired, especially like physically, like if you're going jogging or you're lifting weights, when your body says to give up, you've only really tapped into 40% of the strength that you actually can do. And I read that and I was like, wow. So when I'm jogging and I'm like, okay, my lungs are going to collapse, sister. My lungs are burning in my chest and I'm going to die. You're telling me I have 60% more power and energy and strength to keep going. But a lot of times we succumb to the excuses that our mind starts to develop and build, like you're tired, you can't really breathe, your asthma's going to start acting up. Those are all excuses. Those are all lies. A lot of our excuses, just like Pope John Paul said, is that his name? Pope John Paul? Yeah. Just like Pope John Paul said, a lot of our excuses are lies. But how do we cultivate a mindset that rejects these excuses? That's what I really want to touch and give you guys is, okay, we've talked about all the excuses. How can we combat them, right? Carrie said, what about not telling the whole truth? Ooh, that's true. Not telling the whole truth is an excuse and it's a lie, right? So it's both. It's both and. So how do we cultivate a mindset that rejects excuses and embraces responsibility? Because at the end of the day, our excuses are to prevent us from taking responsibility for our yes, for our agreements, for our commitments. That's what excuses are. So how do we cultivate a mindset that rejects excuses and embraces responsibility? Number one is own it. Own it. You messed up, own it. You screwed up, own it. Don't pass blame like Adam and Eve did in the garden. Don't pass blame, own it. If Adam, this is not even part of my notes, y'all, but if Adam just said, God, I screwed up. I shouldn't have eaten that fruit because you told us not to. I'm not going to pass blame on my wife. I'm not going to pass blame on the stupid serpent that was talking to my wife. I'm just going to own up. I did it. I shouldn't have. Own it. Own it. So the way you could do that is reflect regularly, ladies. Reflect regularly. Acknowledge when you make excuses and understand the why. Understand the why, right? And the reason why I say that is a lot of the excuses I personally make, and I don't know if anybody else out there feels me when I talk about this, a lot of the excuses that I come up with is because of fear. If somebody asks me to do something, hey, can you speak at this event? And I say no, I'm doing something else, or that's the lie, right? Or, oh, I'm unavailable that day or whatever. When I stop and I reflect, I realize that that excuse was made due to fear. Fear that I may not do a good job, fear that I'll fail, fear that I'll suck at it, fear a lot of times for me personally is why I make up excuses or why I prevent myself from committing to something. So regularly check yourself, acknowledge when you make the excuses, but figure out the why behind what you made, right? Carrie said sometimes the fear of others' reaction is scary. It is, but you need to own it, right, Carrie? You need to own it. Like, it doesn't matter their response. It matters what I say or what I do. I could only control me. Another way is set clear goals. and go for them. Set clear goals, go for them. Think about that 5 second, right? Think about that 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go for it. Just do it. Just do it like Nike says. But not just that. It's not based about feelings. The amount of times I didn't feel like going for a walk, the amount of times I didn't feel like drinking a whole gallon of water, the amount of times I didn't feel. Discipline is not based on feelings. So set that goal and go for it, no matter how you feel. Now, if you're sick, like literally sick, fever, throwing up, please, you be smart. Be smart. But I'm saying set clear goals and go for it and stop basing it off of feelings. Another one, embrace challenges. Challenges are okay. I have to learn that. Challenges are okay. See challenges as opportunity for growth. See challenges that come your way as a stepping stone, right? Embrace challenges. Next one, sisters. I'm going quickly on this because I want to get you all these notes. You guys could go back and listen to this podcast and write them down if you need to later. But I just want to equip you to make sure that these excuses that we constantly, I say we, remember, these excuses that we constantly come up with, that we can nip it in the butt and own our life, own our responsibilities in life, right? What are some challenges that you are facing right now that you need to embrace? Think about those challenges, right? I said to embrace those challenges. Think about those challenges that you need to embrace. Another point is learn from your failures. It's okay to fail, y'all, because we can learn from it. We learn what not to do for next time. Learn from your failures. Don't be afraid of them. And that's my problem. I'm afraid to fail. So a lot of times I won't take on things, take on projects, take on challenges because I'm afraid to fail. And I come up with these excuses so I don't have to take them on, so I don't have to fail. So I know my why, but I need to learn to learn from my failures. It's okay if I fail because I can grow. I could grow. I can learn what not to do in the future. Another one, take ownership. Take ownership. Accept responsibility. Acknowledge your role in every situation, just like I did in the meeting. I acknowledged my role. I acknowledged that what I did was a distraction to others. I owned it. I acknowledged it, right? And I took responsibility for it. I apologized to all the people that were in that meeting. And I said, sorry, you know what? I sent out a message. I shouldn't have sent it out that time. I could have came up with the excuse like it was important. I needed to send it right away. So I could have created a reminder in the reminder app, right? to let me know that I don't need this. I don't need this to do this right now because it's a distraction. Create a routine. That's the next one. Create a routine. Establish daily routines that are aligned with your goal. So if I turn on my alarm clock because I want to get up and exercise, remove that snooze. Remove that snooze so that you can create that routine. At 8 o'clock when I wake up, I exercise. At 8 o'clock when I wake up, I exercise. Get a routine, get a habit going. The next one, the last one, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Forgive mistakes and focus on improvement. Be kind to yourself. Just because I give you all these points and you mess up tomorrow, you mess up the day after, be kind to yourself, please. By implementing these strategies, I'm praying that these excuses, that I'm praying that you are taking ownership. I'm praying that you're stepping up in life and realizing this life that I got, I have to own it. My actions, my decisions, I have to own it. Galatians chapter 6, verse 4 and 5 reads, but let each one test his own work, and then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in his neighbor, for each will have to bear his own load. At the end of the day, sisters, you're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for yourself. Believe in yourself and let go of the excuses. Believe that you can do it. Let go of the excuses. Own it. Own it. Own your health. Own your life. Own your family. Own your education. Own your job. Own your decisions. Own your own relationship with God. It's not your husband's relationship. It's not your parents' relationship. It's not your kids' relationship. It's your relationship. Own the choices that you make. Own it. Own it, sisters. Believe in yourself. Let go of the excuses and own your life. George Washington Carver says 99% of the failures come from people who have the habit of making excuses. So we need to get out of that habit of making excuses, sisters. We need to get out of it. We need to get out of it. What excuses have you been making that you need to get out of? What excuses have you been creating that you need to get out of it so that you could walk into a newness of life, a ownership, a responsibility of life, right? But as I end today, I want to pray over that. I want to pray that you take ownership. I want to pray that your mindset changes, that your mindset shifts, that you start thinking of how to embrace a new outlook on life and realize I could take ownership. I could stop making excuses because I have the power to, I have the strength to. Why? Because I serve a big God who sees little me and sees that I can do so much more if I get rid of these stupid excuses I keep coming up with, right? So let me pray over you guys right now. Lord Jesus, I pray for every brave sister watching now. I pray for every brave sister listening, whether she's watching or listening, that, Lord, she will own it, her life, her decisions, her choices, her family, and that these excuses that sometimes come up into her mind, that she will knock them out, that she will get rid of them, that the lies that sometimes come up in her head, that she will not use them, that it will not utter from her mouth, dear Lord, that she will be disciplined in everything that she puts her heart and her mind to, discipline in talking to you daily, discipline in her exercise, discipline in her eating healthy, discipline in her work, discipline in her studies, discipline, Lord. That is the word, Lord. Help us to take responsibility for our lives because you gave it to us to steward well. And so help us to not come up with a bunch of excuses, is my prayer. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Ladies, as I said, we start our day with God. We end our day with God. And I enjoyed ending my day with you guys. Angie says excuses are like the links of the chains that hold you small. Come on, break every chain, sister, break every chain. All these links that are keeping us small. Let's break those chains. Ladies, I love you guys. I'm praying for you guys. I know that as you go through life, that you will be bold, you will be strong, and you will be brave. Peace out, ladies. Love you.